I'm here talking with Melvin of Nintendo of America, and you know, there's this little mobile console that people may have heard about called the DS, but have you heard of the DSi? Melvin's going to tell you all about this awesome new evolution in the Nintendo lineup. What is a DSi?
All right. Well, the Nintendo DSi is our next advancement on the DS Lite, and if you look at the DSi, or the Nintendo DSi, you'll notice that it's a little different. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit thinner. We've removed the AGB slot, but it still plays your DS games in the back. It also has, just like the DS did, it has a place for your headphones, it has buttons for your volume, and it has an SD card slot where your SD card goes into here, and it's just a standard SD card. So that's kind of just on the outward looks of the actual system itself. It has an outward camera, and if you open it up, it has an inward-facing camera, as well as 3 lights, one referring to the Wi-Fi, one for the charger and the power. We've also got a button for the power button instead of down here. We have it up within the system. And then just the normal game buttons and the D-pad that everybody's familiar with from the DS Lite. Also, the screen is a little bit bigger, and it had enhanced pictures and sound as well from the original system. So
now I gotta say, I gotta come clean here. I happened to be in Singapore when this came out, and they happened to have a few of those there at the time. I picked one up, and you know, I gotta tell you, even though it was all in Japanese, the whole character, because that's all you could get it in at the time,
right.
I have had a blast with my Nintendo DSi. What does the American version mean now to people? Like, I mean, is there going to be anything different? What are the games going to be like?
Well, actually, that's a great question. We're going to actually have the DSi Wear games that we have coming out, and right now we have a couple of them, and I know you played one of them called WarioWare Snapped, and then we also have a few we're showing on the show floor today called Bird and Beans, and then also Aquia. So 2 cool, very fun puzzle games, really easy to get addicted to, you know, and you can play it for a few minutes or, you know, play it for hours. You know,
shake that doggy.
You know, the water off the dog.
Nice. Okay, I gotta pour the water. Pour that water. Now, because you've got these cameras incorporated in there, can you go through a little bit of the interface for folks that haven't seen it? How does this camera integrate into the whole situation? Because there's not just one, there's actually 2.
Correct. Yeah, so there is an inward-facing camera and there's an outward-facing camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and kind of show you a little bit of how the camera feature works. I'm going to go into the system. And first of all, when you go into it, you'll notice that you have the system and the SD card slot. So if you have an SD in your SD card slot, it'll be able to access that. And you can see right here, I have a lot of photos remaining. So it shows you actually the amount of photos in numbers and not in the size of memory. So how many photos you can put on your SD card. But I'm just going to jump into the system. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the camera. And everything is categorized by date as well. So there you are. So it defaults to the inward-facing camera. You have the different lenses up top that range from the distortion lens to the color pad to a mischief lens that allows you to kind of just take your picture and kind of be goofy, you know, and add little mustaches or little, you know, like little rabbit or cat whiskers and things like that, little tears. There you go. So, you know, you can just change your effects down in real time, or you can go ahead and capture your image and then place that onto your photo later on. So a bunch of cool little different lenses that allowed you to distort your picture.
And there's even a lot of fun. One of the things I noticed in playing with my DSi, of course, is that, I mean, now it just goes beyond the game. The actual interface of the DSi itself is just so much fun to play with. I mean, we looked at the camera. What about some of the audio things that are going on with the unit?
Absolutely. That's another good question. So we've got the Nintendo DSi audio. So let me just back out of here. It's called the Nintendo DSi Sound, is what they're referring to it as here. And so we'll go into here, and first thing you'll see record, edit, and sound, and then also play with your music. So you can actually take music from your iTunes AAC files, put them onto your SD card, put them in, and listen to your music. Now the cool feature with that is if you plug headphones into the system and close it, you'll actually be able to listen to your music as a media or an audio player that way. So that's one cool feature that we've added to that as well. And now if I go into the recording, it has a bunch of different slots to record 10-second snips of whatever you'd like, whether it's you talking or the dog barking or a cat meowing or just whatever. You can record a quick 10 seconds, and then you can take those and put those over your soundtracks of your music. Now you can't save them because artists wouldn't be too happy with our rendition of their music. So you can kind of just mess with it, and that's really what Nintendo's always done. Is we've always been this fun little innovative type company that we've always created these fun aspects. So a little twist from what you would normally see out there in the market. So
some of the way that the music is rendered in here, where you see all the different, like I like the Excitebike one, where there's creating little peaks and valleys in the beat to the music, and the little Mario guy running along hitting the little coins to the beat of the music. I get a kick out of all this stuff, and especially modifying my voice. You can play all sorts of fun pranks on your friends. What are the other reasons why people are going to pick up this unit? And then particularly, you mentioned, I guess, is it WiiWare, the actual games that people can download?
Oh, it's actually DSiWare, since it's on the DSi system. It's actually, yes, correct. So they can actually download it through the shop channel, which they'll be able to do sometime in the near future, So, and right now, again, we're just demoing those 3 games that are out there. So that'll be something in the near future, and they'll be able to use what we call Nintendo points. And they'll be able to dedicate their points either to the Wii or to the Nintendo DSi. And when you allocate those points to those, then you can download your DSiWare games. So
now, is Nintendo taking an approach similar to Xbox Live Arcade, where they're really opening it up to independent game developers, or is Nintendo traditionally has had a pretty strict process in order of who they allow in and they're able to use the SDK and get games on? I mean, is that going to change at all, or are we going to have more of an open system?
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to get more developers interested in us to actually allow them to create games. So from the smallest developer to the biggest developer, anybody who would consider themselves a developer could actually now develop games for our DSiWare games.
So the next big question is release date and how much?
Well, right now that's something that I can't really say, but the release date for the Nintendo DSi is going to be April 5th, and as for the price and things, we'll have to get back to you on that. So
fair enough. It doesn't matter. I'll buy one anyway. Just so you know.
All right. So,
Melvin, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you. All right.